Good afternoon, everyone. Jonathan Davis here with Davis AutoSports. Excited to offer you guys a beautiful 2014 Mercedes GL 550 4MATIC. This is a one-owner, Carfax certified guaranteed truck with a flawless history, clean and clear title, in hand, in-house, ready to sign over. This GL has been dealer serviced since day one of ownership. This was a custom ordered GL 550 from the factory with every single option Mercedes offered. The window sticker, which is included, is over $100,000. Truck's in absolutely beautiful condition inside and out. It is a V8 twin turbo. Some of the more expensive options on this Mercedes are going to include the Designo package, which is going to give you the Napa leather throughout. It also has the diamond stitch interior with the satin wood finish. It is real wood inside as well. Has entertainment package, driver assist package. I believe the 550 4MATICs, which are all pretty highly optioned, usually fall around 80 to 85 on the window sticker. And this one, like I said, is over $100,000. It has brand new Continental tires as of 2 months ago. Our reconditioning department, as we do with all of our vehicles, the paint has been fully paint corrected, which means on this one it wasn't too bad at all. So we started off with a 3000 grit sandpaper, completely sanded the entire vehicle, and then with multiple steps with compounds, polish, high-speed buffing, you see an absolutely beautiful finish on the paint. Brand new Continental tires, like I mentioned earlier. Also part of the $100,000 window sticker is the 3-panel roof option. On the back side of that, on the inside, you're going to have a full upgraded from the factory Alcantara headliner. Overall, the body is in great condition. There are a couple small little wear items, if you will, no damage besides what I'll point out here in a moment. You have a little area right there that's been touched up, and you have a back area right here on the bumper, and that actually shows on the Carfax report as a minor incident, less than $400 value. Beautiful stance, air suspension, fully operable as well. It is in the mid stance right now. Full front bumper sensors all the way around, front camera option, side mount camera option as well, and obviously a rear mount camera. In my opinion, one of the most aggressive yet sporty and luxurious mid-size SUV that there is. I mean, I believe over 500 horsepower, 500 pounds of torque, feet-pounds of torque. I mean, V8 twin turbo, it's fast as crap. It's a beautiful truck, completely loaded up luxury-wise. Heated and cooled cup holders. Beautiful diamond pearl paint. Has the original Mercedes windshield as well. The chrome bezels were also an option on the window sticker. There's a good glance of the beautiful pearl paint. That was also part of that $100,000 window sticker as an upgraded option. Rear park assist, as mentioned earlier. If you look at one of the reasons this truck, in my opinion, looks so aggressive compared to the other vehicles somewhat in its class, is you actually have a bowed out rear quarter where it doesn't make it look obvious, but it's a very wide rear end from the complete back end, and it starts right here on the door where it starts to flare out. So it just has a real aggressive, beefy stance without looking overdone. And obviously matched with the big wheels, very wide wheels as well. Front end is absolutely beautiful on this truck in person too. Take a look at the beautiful satin wood. That is real wood on there. Diamond stitched throughout. Heated and AC seats, heated and AC cup holders. You got multiple cameras on your driver assist. The wood grain is throughout. Access points to both driver and passenger side. You have buttons on each side to flip the seats fully to access the third row. The third row seats are flippable as well. So to access this one, you have a button here, flips the seat down. You got the same access point there. And then here you actually have two buttons as well to flip those seats. All the buttons work, all the seats work exactly as they should. You have two buttons here. Notice the Alcantara headliner. It's just a beautiful, beautiful truck. Truck sounds great as well. It's got a nice rumble, nothing obnoxious, of course, but for a factory truck, sounds great. WeatherTech floor liners. We have the window sticker, the books, all the keys. I mean, it's a turnkey truck. Harman Kardon sound system. Just going to give it a quick start. go ahead and show you how the suspension functions as it should as well. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to put the camera down. We're going to raise it and then we'll lower it back down. So the front's starting to raise now. As you see, it's raising. Obviously doesn't look as good when it's raised up, but it's fully functional for its intended purpose. See, the back is now raised up. Does not leak. So there's your shot of it raised. Go ahead and bring it back down. Notice the front going down, then now the rear. Now the front, it sort of takes turn. It doesn't drop all 4 bags at once. And there you go. This thing's an absolute blast to drive as well. The steering is extremely impressive. The way this thing steers and handles, and obviously V8 twin turbo. It is a very high performance, yet very high end SUV. Great choice overall. If you guys have any questions, 855-955-3377. Thank you. All right, guys, here we are in the driving portion of the GL. It's going to be a quick drive. Truck drives 100%. I've actually personally been driving this truck since we got it in inventory. I got probably about 900 miles on the truck. The previous owner, she lived in Florida and Alabama and went back all the time in this vehicle. So it has a ton of highway mileage from making the drive from Alabama to Florida. She said at least every other weekend. So it's got some miles on it. They're all highway miles for the most part, and it's been dealer service since day one. So like I said, I got a ton of miles on it driving it myself. This thing drives 100%. It's a perfect driving truck. I mean, the truck looks and feels like it has 10,000 miles on it. If you hear any sort of plastics, yeah, we have a lot of cameras and obviously our equipment in here. So if you hear any of that, that's all that is. But the throttle response on this truck, even at low end, is just extremely impressive. Over 500 pounds of torque, and you feel it right away. You give it 10% throttle at 1500 RPMs, and it just instantly kicks in. Turbos spool up right away. I mean, as much as I've driven this truck and like to see how it performs, I probably have never gotten over 4,000 RPMs, and this truck just flies. The steering, like I mentioned earlier, is very impressive on this. The response of the steering, the lightness, it's a very, very light steering system. Anything you tell it to do, I mean, the car just does it right away. It's just a beautiful truck to drive. Luxury's all there as well. I mean, you got beautiful Napa leather. It smells like a leather coat store in here. The wood grain is a satin wood grain that is just, in my opinion, just gorgeous. It is a real grain. You see too many chintzy, even on high-end cars, you see a lot of fake trim, and it's hideous. That satin gives it some classiness. The titanium look gives it some sportiness. You have a beautiful stitching throughout. You obviously have your design stitching from your Designo package. You have a full Alcantara headliner. You have your pano roof, your Tiptronic steering, heated and AC seats, which both function exactly as they should. You have your heated and AC cup holders. I mean, that's probably 30% throttle. I mean, this thing's just to rocket. I mean, from the factory, this thing's very impressive, and you know, guys like myself that would own one of these personally, there's companies out there to make them even more impressive with the ease of a tune and an exhaust. Being that it's twin turboed, it's easily modified to increase the power, but it's very impressive as is. I mean, just the ease of driving this thing is very impressive. What you just heard in the back is an empty can, a drink can that hit the camera. It's got a nice little rumble to it. I really like the exhaust note. It is a V8, so you do hear it. It's not too loud, but you know that you have some power. So I follow this path that we're taking is not the path that I drive home, but the path that I do, it is I've taken it in every car that we pretty much ever had in inventory that I've driven. I've been at my facility now at Richmond Airport for nearly 7 years, and this is probably one of the best driving and most comfortable vehicles that I've taken home. The path that I take to get home, it has some really bad bumpy roads that ironically they're just now fixing and redoing, but this thing handles a bad road as smooth as any vehicle I've ever been in. You can hear the turbo spool up a little bit even at a low RPM. You do have your comfort and sport mode on the suspension. You have your suspension increase, your downhill assist. I keep it in sport mode, as you see, and it's still very comfortable. I rarely have it in comfort mode. I never put it in comfort mode. I prefer a sport mode, and even in sport mode, it takes bumps and everything just extremely smooth. One of the smoothest vehicles I've been in, and for $100+ grand, it should be. You do, if you're not familiar with the driver assist package, it is a very nice feature to have. You can control it. Some of the things that it does, lane assist and lane depart. So if you're on a highway and there are solid or dotted lines and you're crossing the line without a turn signal, it'll give you different warnings, and you can set those preferences to how aggressive the warnings are. It could even, well, let's see, I will, right now we have a solid line right here. I'm going to go ahead and merge over, and the steering wheel started to vibrate to let me know. Now that's a low preference that I set on there. There's actually a preference in there that you can have that the Mercedes, and let me also tell you, if you have your turn signal on, it will not do that. But for a more aggressive approach, there is a setting in there that it will actually change the acceleration. So if you're on the gas and you're merging off, let's say you happen to be dozing off and you start to come across the lane a little bit, the accelerator will go down. It could even apply the brakes and will auto correct the steering wheel as well. So very, very safe vehicle. All sorts of goodies. If you guys have any questions, once again, 855-955-3377. Thank you.